Hello friends, welcome back to the Baltic Homestead. It's probably time to do a autumn tour video. Look at the cat and dog. Yeah, so let's do that. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning. In the background you can probably hear the dawn chorus from the cranes that we have, which is nice. So let's have a quick look around what's going on. Compost area. Start a new compost pile. It's not the most exciting things that goes on here, but it's really important to us. So that's not just a mound of grass clippings, that's layered. We cut some grass yesterday, so that's just a cover on the top. I think it's interesting, this new pile that we started. If you remember back at the start of this year, it was up to about here, and now it's gone right down. So look forward to getting to grips with that. You can see there's some stuff growing outside of it, and there's even some potatoes, which is interesting because anyway. So yeah. As we start pulling stuff out of the market garden, we'll start putting the layers of compost over on those beds to put them to sleep for the winter. Where should we go? Let's go down to, well, here's the garden. Some of the gardens are all in bloom, which is very nice. There's some August cat and dog. Flowering. This comes up, it's about 8-9 foot tall. These are the French beans, Kohlrabi beans. We have had a shocking summer weather-wise, and I'll show you some of the effects of that in the market garden. But we have got some French beans, but they're very, anyone else, I think it probably in the UK, you probably already picked yours and you're putting them to bed, but we've still got to wait, and it'll be a very tight rush between the sort of the last bit of heat and the first frost to get all these picked. Well, there is some to be picked today actually, but normally you would expect this all to be in green, but you can see a lot of them haven't even climbed to the top. One or two have. We won't, well, some of them have been cut short, but we'll try not to cut them and let them grow to the last minute, really. That's how it's got to be done here, really, with the way that the seasons work here. More compost there. See more things in flower here. And these are some autumnal raspberries, which will start to flower and fruit soon if they haven't already. There's some flowers just starting. That's good. We've put the hugelkultur, we've put a cover over the hugelkultur. We're going to let that sit for a year and then we'll use that next year. This is where, if you saw the smoker video, I think the smoker's going to go here. We've got a nice sort of small hill here, which we can build a firebox at the bottom and the smoker go up there. Let's just have a look at the greenhouses. The old greenhouse, we're picking tomatoes every day now basically, so that's why you won't see lots of red in here, because they'll be picked later and consumed or made into something. A variety of tomatoes. Yeah. And the same with the new greenhouse, really. We've got some peppers, different few bits and pieces, some winter crops to go in there. I went a bit mad with pak choi. And yeah. Again, lots of tomatoes. There are some peppers and chilies in this one. There we go. Go out the bottom of the greenhouse. So yesterday we were doing a lot of trimming, mowing. We had a whole day of it really. And this area at the back here is, I guess, pasture. At one time there was a field that way. There was crops being grown over there. There was crops being grown here, as you know. The fields are rotated. And at the bottom is lots of grass, weeds, ground elder and nettles, and then once a year we trim all that back, and then we use that organic material to build up our dig beds. This is the area we kind of, well, originally permaculture area, but slowly we're moving to a more of a permaculture philosophy in everything we do. That's where the no-dig garlic was, and you can see we've started preparing, putting some cardboard down for new beds. A demonstration of if you miss a hole, nature will find a way. These are potato beds. We'll be picking these in the next week or so. As you can see, they're sort of ready. But yeah, this is all, these beds are all material. This is all this from last year. So yeah, we harvest and then we put it back into the ground really through the beds, and then that composts down and gives a nice place to grow potatoes and a few other bits. I think we're going to grow more garlic next year. And there's our runner beans, same story really as the French beans, a little bit better, but only just in flower. Be a real rush to get all these in. I remember last year that we were still picking and there was the first frost, but that's okay. There's our curing table, which we'll be picking onions in the next week as well. Started sort of working on this area, de-weeding, and we'll put a mulch down here for next year. We've made a bark mulch already. So sweet corn, which is only just coming out into flower. Yeah. Some daylilies, which I'm told the flowers you can eat. There's a few of those around. Okay, there's the yard area. Front garden. I don't know what we call it in the UK. In America you call it a yard, but well, yeah, I won't lose sleep over that. We've got more tomatoes growing at the front of the house this year. There's lots of things that we need to do. I see them as I walk around doing this video, but they're all at the bottom of the list. Let's walk over to the market garden. I'll take you through a few things that's going on over there. Highs and lows. I'm probably going to do a separate video. I've got one video with how the market garden was built and why we moved to that type of setup, and then I think I should do a video of sort of top 5 highs and lows, disappointments and thank yous. So peas are all picked. We've got some fresh shoots coming out, which is interesting. This will all be tied away again. Got a lot of work to do in the next week. Onions are ready to be harvested. Carrots we're just picking through as and when we need them. So first disappointment, well, yeah, it is disappointing I suppose, but there's nothing we can do about it, is our butternut squash. We won't see any, I don't think, this year. This is due to the weather. So shocking summer, most July it rained, I kid you not. We've not had the heat, and there's only 1 or 2 flowers on there now, so we probably won't see any fruit. I've heard on the radio that the rest of the country is very similar. Probably going to be a pumpkin shortage this year. See, there are some flowers now, and I've heard stories in the UK as well, very similar. People actually pulling up their plants because they just think it's pointless, and I tend to agree with them, if I'm honest. Brassicas have been okay. We were using BT, which is Bacillus thuringiensis, something like that, which is a organic agent. It's microorganisms, which bacteria, which caterpillars, makes the leaves. You spray it on the leaves and it stops the caterpillars eating it, and they get a stomachache and die and fall off. But I could only source that once, and then we couldn't get it again. And because we were relying on that originally, I didn't have any time to get your nets up, so we've lost quite a few of the cabbages. But then that's just something we've learned, and next year we'll have nets. But half the brassicas is okay. We've harvested 10 stem broccoli, we've got lots of kale, that's okay. It's only some of the Savoy cabbages which have been affected, if I'm honest. Cauliflowers, there's been no heads. I need to look into that. And the kalettes, they seem to be doing okay. More onions, shallots. First time growing shallots. They look okay. Parsnips coming along okay. Some leeks. You can see broad beans we've pretty much harvested. We've just left a few on there for seed. Harvested a lot of chard, mangolds, as it's called in the rest of the world, and there's some beets growing nicely there. Second row of later carrots, a lot of them didn't come out, a little bit disappointing, but there's a few at the end. I think with the thing to remember is with all these disappointments and things that happen, this garden has produced probably far more food, despite having a lot of spoils and things going wrong. It's probably produced more food anyway, without even with the disappointments. So and more variety as well. We've produced a lot more variety. So Kohlrabi, there is swede, turnips, about 3 or 4 varieties of bush beans, dwarf beans. That's a purple variety, although they go green when you boil them, over there. And then some yellow, I think they're called butter. They're not butter beans, but they're called a butter French bean. We've got some Borlotti beans, dwarf variety here. So some of these will be picked. So the Borlotti beans we will leave for beans. We have a lot of beans, eat a lot of beans during the winter. And the other varieties will be sort of half and half. We'll pick some to freeze as green beans, and then save some of the beans as well. And obviously a lot of this will also be saving seed for next year. And here's the newest section of the garden, which has only been put together in the last couple of weeks. A lot of stuff didn't come out here initially. He will regret this. So there's some spring onions, late spring onions, some more turnips, more beets, some chicory, which barely come out. Nothing came out here. Nothing came out there originally. That was peas. Second row, lots of peas didn't come out. I've now planted some more just to get some shoots off. I'm not expecting any actual peas, but the pea shoots, if you've not tried those, they're absolutely lovely. They're just like peas. They just taste like peas. So lambs, lettuce, few late cabbages, which we probably will have to move into the greenhouse over winter because of the extreme temperatures here. But that kind of worked last year, so I'm willing to give that another go. We were eating kale over the winter just by putting it in the greenhouse. Some more dill, which is used a lot here. This row here was supposed to be more tender stem broccoli, and one brassica came out, and that doesn't look like tender stem broccoli to me. Looks more like a jagged kale or something. You can see where the cat's been playing around in the beds. Potatoes all ready to harvest. Yeah, I mean the great thing is this is now set up. There's a few things that we need to change. We may top up the wood chips, but essentially the hard work's been done, and next year we can just build upon that. We're seeing the results of this already. We're seeing more worms. We see the moisture retained in the wood chips. See the fungal activity just within a year, and this is kind of on a sort of 3 to 5 year plan really to bring the biology of the soil up. As you know, the soil is very sandy here, to bring the quality of the soil up, more organic material. This is hemp, but we had well, again, the same problem with the hemp. We had some problems with the hemp seeds. So we'll see what happens with this really, but it's more of an experiment as to whether we could grow it as a crop, I suppose. Bigger crop. There's our flower beds, which I'm really pleased with. First time growing flowers for me. Some marigolds, some tall ones, and cornflowers, chrysanthemums, and parsley and dill. Yeah, so that's the market garden, and that is, I guess, the August update. Thanks for watching the video. Thanks for watching our videos, being part of what we're doing here. Please share, like, subscribe, tell your friends about what we're doing. We've got some exciting videos coming up. We just do these tour videos. I just do once a month really. Just keep updated, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.